Yeah, hit it. Jetzt bei,
Hello. Schneiden. Eat quiet.
My, I have over 400 hours in Roll20.
That makes sense. We're insane.
Oh, I can't. I don't know where to look. I'll look after, but it's probably the same. I already have 24 hours in Stardew Valley.
Good.
As you
It's a
should.
lot for me.
Good. Hell yes.
I fear the day I go back and play it again to reclaim my 100%.
Tyler, that's the sexiest thing you've ever said.
Yeah, it's at 91. I will stand for it one day, no longer. But it took me 150 hours, so I fear. I haven't played any of the new stuff in the last like 3 years.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm excited. But
Good.
Minecraft. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, where'd the last session end?
With that getting crushed by a rock.
Oh, the session before it, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Ulda getting crushed by a rock. That's memorable for the end of last session. Nearly. Not actually.
We woke up in the treehouse after some dreams happened.
Yeah. So it was just travel. It was just travel and conversations.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Sure. Hmm. I don't think it was Gore. I think it was Arathar.
Hmm?
It did something with Gore, but I think Arathar initially saw the note.
Yeah, Arathar saw the note, but then Gore.
Or saw them go meditate, I think.
That's right. Yeah,
Because Gore was
Gore-
like, "You're not
Gore
keeping anything from me, right?
that's right.
Right?" I think Gore is probably gonna go gather his things and immediately like put his back to the rock that Odette is sitting next to and sit next to them.
Arathar gathers his things, and walks over, probably on the like other side of the path, towards a tree, and kind of separate from the rest of the party, and is standing there, kind of just waiting, keeping his distance from.
Jody's taking a second to go halfway, like, scope out the first little bit of the trail, mostly just, like, taking a second to recompose herself. But, you know, also just, like, getting an idea of what's immediately ahead. Actually, I would like to make a perception check to see if there's anything hinky going on in our immediate vicinity, if you will. That's a nat 20 plus 1, I think. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. Probably also staring off into nothing with kind of just his arms around his knees. I assume their leg doesn't look like they can walk on it. Is like Gotcha. Okay, Gore's gonna reach in his bag, and he's gonna pull out a salted caramel, and he's gonna hold it out to Odette. I want you to try it. Yeah, it's like candy. Yeah, I would taste it. Well, that's good. I was hoping it was gonna be good. Yep, it looks kind of gooey. I think that's a good word for it.
I assume with the perception check, she kind of got some of that interaction. So just kind of like clocks that and is noticing that they're up and talking, which is good. And after a minute, goes to walk over to them and Gore. Can I give you a hand walking? I mean, just I can be a crutch if you.
I got it. I'll carry him.
You're gonna carry them the whole way?
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to trade off at any point, let me know. If you want candy that's going to take less than 5 minutes to eat, let me know. I've got a stash. Okay. She's going to go catch up with Sapphire. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will say it probably isn't happening quite yet, but Aerithar, once he starts noticing people are moving and things are kind of about to move forward, he's probably set down his bag for a bit, but he picks it back up, and when Gore and Oldet start to move towards them, he'll kind of walk and get behind Dodie and Sapphire.
Gore immediately puts his hand on their head and stands up, and then we'll pick them up like firefighter style, or like the left hand under the legs and the right arm like on the back. Like
yeah.
gonna fit right in. All right, which way?
West. Which I'm pretty sure is that way. I'm kidding, I do know. Okay, we go. Yes, please.
You will take 2, because I'll make 1 as well.
18?
19.
Cool.
19, please. feel like it's just very silent to my tense.
Mhm.
She notices and she kind of points it out. Why don't we take like half an hour to just sit for a little while, catch our breaths? I mean, we're gonna make that. We're gonna make it in plenty of time.
All right.
She's gonna
Aerithar
go
nods and follows her.
set up, like find a nice place to sit. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You should have told me something. I don't do this very often. Can't say that. That doesn't exist. He was really about to say, "Oh, you mean TV static?" I like that fuzzy thing, you know. Okay, we can figure something out. Yeah. Thank goodness. Um, I think Gorb will go through his things and then kind of post up next to Oldet if they're on like a log or something and start to write in his journal.
Doty's staying close to Sapphire, like keeping a very sharp eye on him, but trying to be very chill about it. But other than that, just kind of keeping. She's very much just watching everything and everyone right now, but especially that motherfucker.
Aerothar's probably not like, like yards away from the party, but has probably distanced himself a little bit from them, but has sat down and is just kind of sitting and is kind of positions himself to where he's facing Gore and Oldet. And he's mostly kind of staring off it every now and then, kind of not glances at them, but kind of in their direction. Just keeping an eye.
Just us? Or... Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. She really is just keeping an eye on everything and everybody right now.
I think seeing that, Gore kind of leans over, kind of points at it. Hey, that seems important. Got like a new revelation or something. Like, what? Like how? With you. Yeah, we're kind of weird. The weird? Okay.
I would.
Oh god.
21. 21.
That's a 13.
Well, if you're interested, and he kind of pulls out his journal. Never mind. And puts it back. You can't read Draconic. But if you're interested, I have all of our accounts written down. I guess I can convey that to you at some point because you're not going to be able to read it. They're gibberish to some, wisdom to us. Well, other people could probably read mine. They're just very few. But
Aerithar catching like the tail end of that bit that you said that he caught. Definitely at this point he's more so been like staring off in their direction, not at them. Kind of makes eye contact with Gore for a moment. Before going into his bag and then pulling out his journal and starting to write in his journal, instead of acting like it's fine.
Dodie like side eyes Sapphire to see if he heard any of it.
14. Okay. Has it been like has it been like 30 minutes at this point?
Makes sense. After a little while, she's gonna get up and like make a show of stretching. I think we should probably get going.
Gore immediately stands up. Oh, thank God. Kind of hobbles over to all that.
The same thing he did before. He gets his stuff together and he kind of waits after Dodie starts moving for Gore and Oldet to get together, and then fouls them behind Dodie.
Yeah. This once.
She's gonna go back toward the back and recognizing that she's a full foot shorter than Gore and therefore a much more reliable crouch, kind of like helps sling their arm around her shoulder. She kind of like hunches down on like their bad side and starts walking, keeping pace with them.
Not unless Gore speeds up.
Or would probably stay behind them.
Yes. Ooh, 22.
I think that's less important than how you're feeling, but since you've asked. Pretty fucking shaken. Eager to get somewhere safe. How about you? That makes sense. Sapphire will. Sometimes Erythar does, but I feel like he's been getting quieter lately. So I don't really know. It's so hard to read. If you need a break, tell me please. Okay.
I would like to make a perception check to see where, cause there's a downtown area, there's like towards the beaches where the actual ports are and everything else, where in the general direction, um, like area where taverns are, essentially. I don't know, my brain. Um, E. Natural 20.
The sagging head in his head.
Also, I don't know if this would count for the same role, but as we start moving in that direction, kind of specifically keeping a lookout for taverns that aren't shitholes, but also aren't like super expensive, like kind of in the middle taverns.
18.
Has Gore like separated from the group, is kind of drifting over towards where like under the docks is, or is he kind of standing and looking around still?
He's kind of just sitting back, pondering a little bit. He looks like he's in. Yeah.
Aerithar kind of looks over at him. Did he say he'd been here before? I'm really sorry. Gore.
He said no. Apparently he has. So we're gonna change that to a yes. Okay. Gotcha.
He looks over at Gore. You said you've been here before?
I've like been here, but I've been in the water while this was here.
Okay, well I'm going to start to walk this way to look.
What are we looking for?
A place to stay, I assume.
Okay. I've heard of a place. It's underneath the dock. And it's not sketchy in the sense of that, and punch at the cat shack. It's like not a place that's going to be flocked to tourists, because gestures over to the pony show. It's kind of a party town.
We'll lead the way, then.
I'll try my best. Oh god.
Can I also just, as we're going, kind of make another perception check just to kind of like, if Gore, since he didn't seem too sure of himself, just to kind of look around and maybe point Gore hypothetically in the right direction. It's another nat 20.
I got a 1. A dirty 1.
Was it a dirty one?
even tap him on the shoulder, just starts walking that way. Maybe even probably like looks up at him, but walks down. I think he just kind of maybe glances back at the group and then just fully walks towards the door and opens it. Not saying anything.
Makes sense. I think Dodie's gonna help Oldet sit down at a booth. And then gesture to Sapphire, will you help me go get like drinks and rooms settled up? Does anybody want anything other than alcohol right now?
Food.
Arathar's already walking over towards like a corner booth.
Okay.
Even enough.
Okay.
He's he's oh man, that's a good question. I think he's gonna stay at the booth, but he would like to make a perception check to see if he, sees anybody. Perception +0. That is a 14. Gain.
Do you have a couple of rooms available for the night? 3, I think we can probably make do. Mm-hmm. Okay. And do you have anything like cooking tonight? That'll do. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bring an extra one for Ghoul. And then she also orders like drinks that she knows everyone will enjoy. I think Oldet probably had something back in Spreadmore, so I think she's probably going to delve deep into her memory. Figure that out. But
Blue. I can't hear your mic in the stream.
oh no.
It's gonna be in your Streamlabs. It should say Mic Aux on the volumes, and click the little cog icon, and then make sure it's selected. I can bring it up on mine, and then make sure your mic is selected. Because sometimes, for some reason, it changes. The default changes at weird points.
Okay, I just turned it off and turned it back on, and I think it's working now.
Okay. Yes,
Okay,
works. I can hear you.
sweet. Well, whoops. Yeah, I don't know. I just turned it off and turned it back on, but sometimes that's what it takes.
It's the world's best solution.
Yeah. So, you buy a couple plates of food and a couple drinks for, we'll say, a gold for all of it.
Sure. Sounds good.
And he kind of turns back and walks back into the kitchen without saying another word to you. But as he does so, he motions down the line of the bar towards the other figure that is working behind it. You turn and see a very thin figure with long, kind of bluish black hair that looks to be soaking wet, that is just plastered down like over their eyes, almost like full scene haircut style, who seems to be washing glasses at the very end of the counter in like a little apron and everything, and stops and turns and looks as this dwarf disappears, kind of sighs a little bit and starts to make different drinks. After a couple seconds, that figure walks up towards the two of you and sets down like a platter with different drinks on it. As they do, you see that their very pale skin is actually more of a shade of a really light blue than it is a tan or anything, and their hair is just continuously dripping with water. As they just set the stuff down, and turn and walk away.
She kind of looks at Sapphire incredulously, like,
I have no idea.
right. She kind of like, while everything's getting sorted, she kind of drops her voice to a whisper and leans against the bar. Everything okay in that terrifying little noggin of yours?
I think so. Definitely some thoughts and memories popping up. Took me a little while to wind down on the adrenaline,
Sure.
but yeah, decent. Decent.
Anything in particular coming through, or are you still marinating?
It's kind of piecey in my brain, but I think it has something to do with other gnolls more northward.
Okay. When we head to bed, we can talk about it a little more. Just keep letting it bake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a puzzle.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
She's gonna carry the tray of drinks back over to the table, kind of distribute, and then hand Aerithar and Gore each a room key.
As this has been happening, Gore, as you sat down, kind of checking out the bar as you did so, for a second, you're kind of scanning everyone in the bar, making sure nobody looks familiar or the description of nobody looks familiar. And as your eyes scan over a pair of horns in the corner, for a second there, you're like, shit. But you realize that the person sitting on the exact opposite side of the room from you, full diagonal, is a yellow tiefling. One that you've never seen before. He sits at a table by himself and seems to have one leg kicked up on top of the table and is playing cards by himself. He's got one horn that's like broken in a certain place that looks like it broke and then healed but continued to grow just at a different angle than his other horn. And the other three patrons in the bar are all kind of scattered and all look to be fishermen. All kind of sitting by themselves, eating and drinking large glasses of ale.
I think Gore is kind of just leaning back, kind of tapping a finger on the table at this point.
Is there a window where we're seated or no?
You can see the window from where you're seated, but you're not next to it.
Okay, Aerithor's probably sitting in the booth. Honestly, also probably tapping his finger was on the table. Kind of staring out towards where the window is.
Okay. You guys sit there for a little while, stewing. Before Dodie and Saphael return with a platter full of drinks. She starts to distribute and then hands out the room keys as well.
Dinner is stew. He didn't specify what kind. I did get 2 for you, Gore. Just protein up.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. When he emerges, I'll go fetch it. But I wanted to sit.
you sit down distributing drinks. The drinks seem to be pretty decent, at least from first glance. It isn't like some of the places that you've been. But as you all kind of settle in for a moment, sitting again in relative silence for a minute or so, this would also probably be a good time to take a break. Because I need some water. And then we'll jump back in with stew delivery and whatever conversation I'm sure is about to happen. So, yes? Alright.
Yes.
We will be right back. one. There we go. Huzzah. We back. With whatever is happening here. So we pick back up with the party sitting in this kind of like round booth in the corner. Dodie kind of keeping an eye out for this dwarf to return from the kitchen with several stews. You guys all kind of sit there sipping on your drinks for a couple minutes, all kind of just awkwardly sitting in silence before eventually the double doors further back into the building just burst open as the dwarf kicks them open, carrying 2 platters forward, looks around, sees you, Dodie, makes eye contact with you, just goes, "Nah!" and sets them down.
Gets up and goes.
You walk down over towards the bar and see where he's just immediately turned away from the several bowls of stew that he has slopped out, basically, and has walked out from behind the bar over to that back corner where that yellow tiefling is playing cards by himself. Just completely ignoring you and the other patrons in the bar. You manage to pick up all of the bowls on the 2 platters and walk back to the table and set them down. The best way I can describe this stew is whatever Port Paith's version of like a Brunswick stew would be.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely just thrown together, but it smells so good.
Fuck yes.
Just kind of plops all of them down on the table.
It's
You distribute the bowls to everyone. Oldet, by this point, has been digging in their bag and has unwrapped their leg below the table, like kind of discreetly, not fully pulling their leg up onto the table. And while you guys have been waiting, seem to have been like smearing some sort of like almost like balm on the inside of the bandage and then rewrapping their leg much tighter and more thoughtfully this time. The bowls of stew are distributed. They are very hot, but they smell, like I said, really good too. And Aerithar, you're kind of looking at this bowl of slop, basically. It's not very appetizing looking, but you kind of look over at Saphael, who looks up at you and kind of gives you the same look of what the fuck is that? But you both try it, and it's actually pretty tasty. Look-wise, probably a 1 on presentation scale, especially because none of the bowls match and look to be like hand-thrown pottery, very shitty pottery, but you know, for a meal after the day that you've had, it's pretty hearty. The rest of you having gotten acquainted with how Gore eats, it's kind of funny to watch how Oldet eats. As Oldet completely neglects all of the silverware on the table and just picks up the bowl and kind of just pours a little bit of stew in their mouth and then chews the bits that they need to chew and then just kind of continues to do that. Like licking their chops. Like very... At a certain point, it is very obvious how big some of their canine teeth are as they do this, but manages to scarf down all of that food very quickly. Not as quickly as Gore, who I'm assuming, Gore, you just kind of pour it into your mouth.
Yeah, the usual.
But it is interesting to see the similarities and the stark differences in those two approaches. But after a moment, you guys are left sitting there again. Further in the back, you can hear a very grumbled conversation. Doesn't seem to be a, like, aggravated conversation, but more so the fact that dwarf's voice is barely understandable to begin with. And apparently the tiefling also has some sort of very strong accent happening, so whatever's happening in the back corner just sounds like a bunch of sounds. But they're having a big animated conversation by this point. The Genasi over at the bar very audibly sighs at a certain point and then walks back into the kitchen. But then they're all just kind of sitting there.
How are we seated in the booth? Like, because Arathar is against a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Who's across from him? Who's next to him?
I would assume, since Dodie and Saphael, I think, were the last two to get into the booth, that since it's kind of like a C-shaped booth, I'm assuming Arathar, you're on like one end, and then next to you are probably Gore, and then Oldet, and then Dodie and Saphael on the opposite end. So Saphael and Dodie are across from you, and Gore and Oldet are next to you. If that
Okay, cool. I just needed that
makes
visual.
sense. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. It gets to be really silent, like really awkward again, and he kind of, now that it was awkward and silent the entire time, it's just that, there was an activity, which was eating,
Yeah.
during it originally. He kind of cuts his eyes across the table at Sapphire, and then kind of looks down again, kind of trying to just...
Saphael is playing with one last little, like, carrot at the bottom of his bowl, just kind of playing at it with his spoon, looks up, gives you a commiserating look like, yeah, I'm right there with you, and then looks back down at the carrot. Oldet kind of scooches their bowl further into the middle of the table. Starts very pointedly looking around the table.
Dodie is staring at like a water ring, like the mark left on the table.
Yeah.
Just like very much studying it.
Kind of look past Dodie, fully turn and look at Gore next to them.
Out of here. But like, what time is the equivalent right now?
I'd say by now, by like getting into the tavern and waiting for food, it's probably like, let's say like 6:30.
Okay.
Is this how you guys do all meals?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm stuck like this for the longest.
Anybody have any thoughts that they want to share with the table?
You know, I thought this place was going to be a little sketchier than this, and it wasn't.
That's good.
How do the boat transactions work? Do we rent one or do we purchase one?
Well, it's going to depend on probably if there is a boat headed in that direction.
I would probably suggest if there is a boat that we can take and isn't just headed in a certain direction, that's probably the best. Whether that's like we rent it out for a couple weeks or we buy it. We're going in a specific direction. It's probably further out than a lot of like the trade boats go.
And is this a tomorrow problem?
I do want a boat. Kind of wiggles a finger at old that.
Like you just want one or
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool.
like to own.
Yeah, just go buy a boat. I mean, I'm rich.
Well, I mean, if it's in the cards.
I'm not gonna. I don't know how inexpensive a boat is, but I'm hoping it's within my budget range.
I mean, most of the times that I've taken a boat someplace, I've either like been trying to get. I've mostly been going places that already have boats going to those places. Or it's just me on a boat, in which case you don't need a very big boat. So I also don't really know the price tag on a sailboat.
I'm sure the. Oh, I don't know if it's a boat shop or what. Fuck. What? Do I know anything about like buying a boat or renting a boat?
Make a make either a history or an insight check.
It's gonna be an insight. That's a 15.
15. You know when you're trying to get on like a charter or something like that, that there tends to be a like stand set up that has all of the boats coming in and going out for the day. And you know when you're trying to get placement for like a crew and stuff like that, there's also a place normally on the pier on the docks that you go and kind of find out about the opportunities. You've never bought a boat, but if you were to hazard a guess, the boats that are for sale are probably near where those stands and stalls tend to be. And maybe there's like a list of all the boats that are available, or maybe there's a person that knows, or maybe there's just a dude down there with a big sign that says free boat. That would be really awesome. So you're assuming down the pier would be where you would need to go?
There's a place I'm pretty sure that sells boats down at the pier. Pretty sure. That's where they do like all the charter stuff. The cruise stuff. So I would imagine they would sell boats there.
Very well.
It's probably a good first thing in the morning thing then.
Yeah, that probably worked best.
Cool. Okay, so like, what's the deal?
We've been over this all that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we've been over this, but also, like... Okay, look. I can see that you guys trust each other. And I think by this point, I kind of trust you guys. So, like, I can get that. But, like, trust, for me, at least in my experiences, isn't like a single thing, but like a series of things. And with this whole situation, I kind of have to be choosy. I can see that you guys care about doing these things. And, like, you want to do the right thing for what seems to be multiple different reasons. But, like, I need to know what all is happening here. Because this is gonna be specific. Am I making any sense?
You're being pretty fucking vague when you say what all is going on here. That could mean a number of things.
Well, it seems like you all kind of trust each other. But I don't know the reasons for why I know why Gore's here. And I know that you're interested in the Cabochon. And I can tell that, Dodie, you're like, like a holy woman. And just kind of motions over at Saphael, who just kind of nods and they move on. So... I can see that you all kind of like want to do the right thing here, but I'm not entirely sure what everybody's definition of that is. You're interested in the Cabochon. I don't really know why. Gore, you've got some other shit going on.
Yeah, we've been over it.
And Dodie, I'm assuming this is kind of just like a been with these people, going with these people sort of thing.
Well, I'd say it's about 20% that. 90%, I think I'm already over 100. Don't want anything bad to happen.
Cool.
And if bad things are going to happen. Also, I'm nosy about... I was consulted on this thing in the first place. I was told it has something to do with a god. I'm nosy. I want to see it through to the end. Third and finally, I need to get the fuck off this continent.
Makes sense.
What is going on with the rest of them? I have no idea.
Okay,
cool. I can tell that they're not being said. It's fine. I'm trying not to piss anybody off by asking.
Sweet. Okay, since we're having a conversation right now, so like, just because I'm checking off all my boxes, because at this point I just don't fucking care anymore.
Yeah.
Political allegiances.
Yeah. Let's talk about them.
You got any?
Well, I'm from this continent. I worked for the Crown. The Crown is now, she looks at Saphael, dead. So that's, he had it coming. His wife is out there being fucking insane. And I would like to simultaneously keep him safe from her and also fucking kill her if possible.
Cool. Okay.
And I know that he's working with the people who walk the cabochon, so there we go.
Sweet. Okay. Thank you. That makes sense.
You got it, bud.
I just need everybody to be on the same page. And I need to know why people are doing things. Cause I know I've been vague about this, but I have a pretty good fucking reason for it. Look,
Kind of turns towards Gore.
I know you. But we don't have a lot of the same goals. I almost fucking died this morning. And it's kind of just one more little bit of reinforcement that I am. There's not a lot of people that do what I do. I kind of have a duty to do this. And I need to not fuck it up.
Well, I'm not gonna let that happen.
Okay. I don't care about, like, if there's, like, secrets in you guys' past and shit that, like, are connected to things or whatever. Like, your business is your business. But why you want to go with me for this thing, going to the place that we're going, I need to know why, and I need to know political allegiances. That's my big thing. If you don't have any, you can tell me that, that's great.
I really don't have any.
Cool.
Looks over to Saphael. I'm assuming? Nope.
Okay.
Personally, none.
Okay. Possibility of you having some in the future, is that slim?
No. Well, no, yes, it is slim. Sorry. Kind of glances over to Dodie, kind of almost semi-apologetically, back to Oldet. There is an artifact on my person that is similar in certain nature to the one that you possess. And I need to find a safe place for it. There is a chance the magnates of the Imolith will potentially have already learned that we were in Diremount, and they will definitely want this artifact. I worked for them, don't work for them anymore. I just don't want anyone to die. And the sooner I hide this, sooner it can be over.
Okay. Okay. So you're looking to like put it someplace.
Precisely.
Okay, I can work with that. Okay. The place we're going, I don't know the name of. I don't know if it has a name. I don't know. But where we're going is a sacred place. And it's one of many, but each one is vastly different. This one has a blight. And I promised a friend there that I would try and help them rebuild. With this thing. But I also promised that I wouldn't expose their home to the world. This place is secret, and it's secret for a reason. Because it's delicate and the people that are there don't want to be fucked with. And a lot of people would probably really, really want to fuck with them. The outside is cruel and these people have suffered enough already. You guys can come with me to take this thing. But you, like, seriously cannot tell people where it is. And I think you guys get the gist of that, so I'm not gonna, like, be too much of a bitch about it. But, like, a lot of the world is really fucked up. And I've seen a lot of destruction. This place does not need to be fucked up. Again. Or more. For another several after time. So I want to stress to you guys that, like, I'm not trying to get in your business because, like, I'm trying to be judgy. I need this place to not get fucked up. Like I said, I don't know the name of it. I don't know if it has a name, so I just keep calling it this place. As well, like, because the place is, like, injured or ill or whatever or it has a blight, whatever you want to say. It's gonna have, like, a lot of effects on the land. So, like, try not to come into contact with those too much. I don't know what they'll be, but, like, you know, like, try to, like, avoid those.
Jody speaks, and Aerithar, I think you notice that she's bitten her lip so hard that it's bleeding. But she looks straight at Ul'dah. I want to help. And you just let me know what I need to do.
Okay.
Is this the only place that that you can think of that would be safe for these sort of items?
No. Like I said, there's a couple different places like this. They're all really different. The fact that this item specifically has this effect makes me think it's supposed to go there. Depending on what effect your thing has, maybe it goes a different place. I don't know. I just know this one's gotta go there.
You think the people there will have a certain knowledge, hypothetically, about the item I possess, and would be able to point me in another place like it to take it?
They
doesn't
probably
need to be
wouldn't,
there.
but I probably would. These people have only ever been there, except for a couple of them. But I've got a decent amount of knowledge on fucked up places.
There's no one I would be able to tell anyway. So. I'll go.
Give you a good chance to see more of it, I guess.
Is there any way that you could possibly take a look at it?
Yeah.
Probably up in the room, but
I think we're just sitting here, so I'm gonna probably go sit on the sand for a little bit and meditate before I attempt to get up the stairs. So if we could kind of motions it where they're in the middle of the C-shaped booth, so they're just kind of like
Nobody scoots out to let them up.
They stand up.
Make it away.
It seems that they have substantially less pain in their leg now, especially since it's much better bandaged. They are still limping and hobbling, but they just kind of immediately make their way outside.
As they're standing up, she looks at them. Let me know if you need help getting up the stairs.
Thank you.
And they head outside.
Arthur? Never mind. Sorry, they head outside, not up the stairs. I forgot.
Saphael has wandered over to the bar by this point. Just
She sits back down, but she's staring at the water ring again.
mhm.
Is there any other imminent threat to my safety that I need to know about?
Sorry.
Arthur is looking at Corn.
He's kind of just looking at the ceiling with his hands.
He's looking
Gotta
for-
raise. There is a possibility.
Yes?
Yes. You know, I'm an ocean guy, you know. So I've made my way around the ocean parts, you know, doing, you know, pirate things, and let's just say they may have wanted the cabochon, and I didn't give it to them. So there might be some stuff there.
Blue, is there any chance at all that she looks up, makes eye contact, and her eyes glow like bright gold or something?
Make a religion check for me.
Cute. That's a nat 20 plus 5.
That's so funny. Yeah, you look up, and your eyes don't fully glow, but like the ring around your irises is definitely a different color than it was before, and it is a stark contrast. Not fully glowing, but definitely like looking a bit off.
Is that why we originally were going to go in a different direction? I see you nodding.
Those things might be correlated. But, listen. I've put my head on the line for this thing now. So my life is pretty much over. They don't know about you guys. They're coming for me. So I gave up everything for this. And it's not the first time I've given up everything. I would really like for it to pay off. And actually choose to do the right thing for once.
I can appreciate that. I understand that. I will take it into consideration. I will be significantly less pissed off with you in the morning.
Understandable. I would also like to preface, though, at least I didn't have a bomb.
Yeah, I'm a little bit hung up on that one myself.
Just immediately throwing him under the bus.
We'll figure it out.
It's not a.
We gotta come up with a code word for it. What if we call it Cabochon 2?
That's still really saying what it is, though.
Yeah,
Why don't we
that
call
just
it-
means rock, doesn't it?
Why don't we call it the cabbage?
Because then they're gonna look at it and see that it's not a cabbage. We gotta be a little bit more creative.
I thought this was just for between us, but I
No,
understand.
no, no, no.
Okay, cool. We could always just call it Greg.
I think Gort does giggle a little bit. I kind of like Greg. That means we gotta name the other one. What about Paul? Greg and Paul.
What I will say is it is not an item that inherently is an explosive. It is an item that has been tampered with extensively to be used as an explosive. There's a difference. It won't go off at any moment. You have to do something to make it go off. And also, I don't know any of you. And this wasn't supposed to be a long-term thing. So, I was going to tell Gore about it eventually when we all parted ways, but when we all ended up sticking together, I had to recalculate it a bit. So excuse me. And to be fair, he only just found out, what was it? A day and a half ago?
I'm pretty sure it was yesterday.
It was yesterday. So this is not a personal thing.
I'm not taking it personally. I'm really not. I get your reasons. I do. I am upset about the fact that you left me in the dark about something that had an imminent... What I am upset about... Never mind. Doesn't matter. I refuse to fight with either of you anymore. I am tired of this silence and this secret keeping, and I'm tired of us not being on the same page. Aldette is right. We don't have to dig up every secret about each other, but gods, we have got to know the important things. And we cannot bicker anymore.
Nodi. There's a giant Leviathan that gives me my powers.
What?
Yeah.
She slams
Listen.
her hands down on the table.
I don't know much more than that. But that's the last secret I had, I promise.
You mean you don't know much more than that?
Listen! I just learned about this the other day, okay? You gotta be chill here with me.
Is this something
That's
that's been happening for a while?
Yeah! But, hear me out.
How long
That's-
is a while? If you say
It
3
only-
weeks, I'm
hold
gonna
on.
slap you.
It's only been ramping up in the last few months. That's the last secret, though. Well,
Did
yeah, I don't
you-
really have...
Did you make some sort of exchange for these powers? It's a yes or no question, Gore.
Sort of.
It's not a yes or a no.
So, when we're on the ocean, we could either be raided by pirates or taken down. But is that why you don't want to go onto the ocean? Or is
No,
it the
I don't want to
pirates?
go on the pirates because of the pirates. The serpent's not a bad guy here.
Serpent's not a bad guy.
I don't think he would be giving me this if he wanted to kill me.
Gore, have you ever heard of warlocks before?
What the hell's that?
She gets up and paces the room.
You walk down towards where Saphael is, like, now playing cards, but not, like, real cards. They're just going, like, placing back and forth cards with the yellow tiefling until one of them places down an ace. Saphael places down an ace, and the yellow tiefling just goes, "You're really good at this." You ignore that completely and walk back to the table.
Hang on. Damn it. Okay. I really thought I could do something to help him with his game. Alright. Yeah, she walks back to the table. Sits down. Please start from the beginning.
He kind of lowers his hand and like pulls down his shirt a little bit, and you see where it looks like there's literally nothing, and he scoops up and you see a necklace.
Insight check.
Make an insight check.
Arcana or religion or whatever you think is the most helpful in that situation.
Let's make an are you trying to figure out if it has properties, or are you trying to figure out, like, just baseline, does that look like an evil necklace?
Yeah, let's go with baseline. Does that look like an evil necklace?
Make an insight check.
Great.
I guess he does have the other one on, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You watch as he kind of pulls down his shirt and just kind of his like chest and scales or whatever are all kind of like the same mottled color. And then it isn't until he starts to reach for the necklace that you see that there is a chain that is exactly the same color as his skin that camouflages in perfectly, and he pulls it up, and it's a plain metal chain with a single coin attached at the bottom of it.
Does
What
the
were
coin
your
have any kind of like
What were your rolls again, both of you?
17.
You said 20?
dirty 20?
Yeah. And Arathar, you were looking for Arcana?
17.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let me pull up something real quick to make sure I have all the details correct. Hold on. I want to make sure I describe it correctly. Yeah. What he kind of pulls up again is this like plain metal chain with a single coin on it. It's not a gold coin. It seems to be more so maybe made out of like bronze or something. And it's a really simple stamped coin with what looks to be like like the shape of like a snake or a dragon or something pressed into it. It's honestly really, really plain looking. Arathar, it doesn't seem to have any runes or sigils on it or anything. It legitimately looks like just some coin. Dodie, you look at it. There's no like glowing crystal or like scary looking like writing on it or anything. It is really, really weird that it fully camouflages when he drops it down onto his chest again, but other than that, it legitimately just looks like a coin necklace.
So you've had that for how long?
Second. Okay. About 2 years ago, I was on a raid. I just kind of happened to find it, and we're supposed to report everything we find. I kind of didn't want to. So I didn't. It also kind of blended in and made it really easy.
True.
And then I started being able to do all the lightning stuff, you know, over time.
Mhm.
And kind of guided in a sense. And then, whenever I met you guys, then I started having these dreams. They're not fun. Actually, you know what? They're not that bad. And that's why I keep coughing up seawater, is because I keep waking up in the ocean and then drowning when I'm swimming at something. And then I made a promise. And now I can do the clap thing. So.
What kind of promise?
I love this.
I think I'm missing that part of my notes. Oh, never mind. A promise for strength? I don't really have to give up anything.
Like you
I don't
promised.
really-
What? It promised me strength.
And you didn't say or offer anything in return.
I don't think so, right? Fuck, I don't remember.
It was
I don't think so.
the
Oh, sorry, you say it.
the wording kind of, if I remember correctly, the wording kind of seemed like she didn't like what you were doing and the direction you were going,
She.
and if you
Gotcha.
changed the direction, that there would be the promise of strength.
Gotcha. Gotcha. It was kind of like she was like, I don't want you going this way. Why don't you go this way? And I'll give you some power.
Okay. I'm starting to piece this together. I just have to ask one more question. Didn't like you going this way, like literally or metaphorically?
Oh.
Like, was it about your life choices or the actual cardinal direction you were headed in?
No idea.
Okay.
I assume probably something I was doing.
Okay. No further questions at this time.
I also used to be a monk of Periork. That should have been obvious. That's the last secret.
I
No shit.
appreciate you saying it.
Yeah, see, it was painfully obvious. I felt like it didn't need to be said.
I mean, well, yeah, you got really upset when the motherfucker was defacing the temple, and you got really, really upset talking about people using the gods for their own selfish means, so, yeah.
It might have something to do why I'm not anymore, but that'll be a whole other can of worms.
Okay, you know how I said I have no further questions? I do have one question.
Yeah.
Is this... Listen. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but are you still in any kind of contact with her and you just don't really do organized religion anymore?
I don't think so.
No? You just kind of like, the past is the past.
I didn't graduate, so like I didn't get to that part.
I don't really know how monks work. Sorry. I know clerics and I know
Think-
paladins.
I think what Oldet can do, I almost got to be able to do that, and then I didn't because I left.
Pulling rocks.
So you're half schooled, half self-taught, and then partly taught by a Leviathan. You're multifaceted in how you learn and achieve things. That's what I'm gathering.
Multitudes.
Yeah, I kind of just wing it.
I admire that about you.
Somehow it works for you.
Yeah.
It has so far, in my experience with you, anyway.
Well. Yeah, I guess. That's why I don't really open up about things. Been by myself for a while now, so. One day I'll go back though. But
To the pirates or to Periork?
no, not the pirates. Probably not the Periork either. Maybe, I don't know. Just back to the arches.
So, that's where you went to school?
Oh, yeah, that's.
Hey, Arthur, make a history check.
Yeah.
He literally says like that. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Jesus Christ. I don't know the alphabet. 23.
23. You kind of stop for a minute, and then you realize he's using the slang term for the archipelago that contains all of the islands where the monks train, and also the island that is the home base for like all pirates in the world.
Oh, that's... You mean the archipelago?
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's where.
I got into
Well-
Mistcraft so easily. Jeez. Now he's casual. He don't give a fuck anymore.
Edit it out.
Y'all opened him up.
Oh, that was like deuces. I'm out of here to talk.
Okay. Cool. Good talk. I'm going to tell Sapphire these things because they do affect him too. So if there's anything in particular you want me to omit, speak now or forever hold your piss.
It's in the air now.
Right.
I do not care.
How about you, Magic Boy?
Well, I don't know if this is one of those things that goes without saying, but I should specify that I did steal the artifact. So, that's
You did forget that.
I did forget it, didn't I? That's
That explains why you were hiding from them so vehemently.
I felt like it was a detail with knowing that it was just, but
I appreciate it. Okay. All right.
He kind of leans over to Aerithar. I'm so glad you went first. And leans back.
felt like it was hardly fair. But
Seeing from across the room now that the conversation is less animated, Sapphire is beginning to wander back over. Not like fully like making his way over, but kind of like perusing the tavern in the general direction of your guys' table.
I, for the record, have no secrets. To the point where he's seen my childhood bedroom. So I am an open book. The most dangerous thing about me is the fact that you guys are now traveling with him. So it's a win. Can we please just talk to each other? Like, from here on out?
Like about what?
Like, in general, when things of merit come up, we communicate with each other. And also just, like, fuck it, if we're gonna be stuck with each other, I actually want to know things about you. Like, I don't know.
Whoa there.
Shut the fuck up.
I've just told you more about me than I have in the last 3 months in the last 30 minutes.
Okay, do you have a favorite color?
Come back to me on that.
He's got to
Actually,
think about
I think I've come to an answer. I like blue.
Blue's a good color. I'm very fond of it. How about you, Aerithar? Favorite color?
I guess also blue or purple.
You know what's really funny? I was thinking your favorite color was purple.
Jeez.
But yeah, we know each other so well now.
So we're gonna get up in the morning and we're gonna see about getting a boat.
Yeah, I could get us anywhere.
Okay.
I gotta think of a name for a boat now. And he kind of starts to hobble to the side and let out of the table because he's sandwiched right now.
I'm assuming one of you gets up to let him out.
Yeah.
Gore, you get up thinking about boat names. By this point, Saphael has reached the table and slides a glass in front of you, Dodie, that just has what looks like a muffin in it. You're not entirely sure why it's in a glass and not on a plate, but just slides it in front of you.
What kind?
Seems to be some sort of berry.
Looks at him. Why?
He really liked playing that card game with me, and he had a basket of muffins.
What's this muffin? Can I make an investigation check on the muffin to see if it's poison?
Yeah, go for it.
18.
18. You're not entirely sure.
I'm not sure. Did you eat one already?
No, he only gave me the one. And he gave it to me in a glass, so I just brought it over to show you.
I mean, if you're not gonna eat it, I'll eat it.
She slides it over to him and puts her head in her arms like, on the table.
Or just grabs the cup and launches it in his mouth.
Roll a d4 for me.
Oh boy.
Does it have a wrapper on? Be real with me.
Oh
A
my
2.
God.
A 2. You drop the muffin into your mouth, smash it up, eat it. Yeah. Wasn't very good. Kind of sour tasting.
Oh.
Not bad.
Can I? Goes by. Puts the glass back down. It was a sour muffin. He's gonna walk outside.
Alright, either of you two going any place, or you just sitting?
When Gore's fully outside, she's gonna look Arathor in the eye for the first time all night. I'm frustrated. I am not mad at you personally. I understand your reasons. I'm also a little bit pissed off about the entire situation. Not at you. I am going to go scream into a pillow for 2 minutes, and I will be chipper and ready to go in.
I understand that. Also, not saying this to argue with you, but to say that my act above you because gods know you've had enough of that. It was better that you didn't know.
Up into a
But
point.
now you do, and it's fine. It probably won't be eventually, but for now it's fine. And you can respect my advice, and you can find me interesting and talk to me, and you can fucking make jokes and draw me in the sand, but you should not put any real faith in me or trust me. You need to understand that. Because it is far too much.
I'm going to leave the table before I say something I don't mean.
I will see you in the morning.
Likewise. And she's gonna get up and head upstairs.
Saphael starts to follow behind and looks back over towards Erithar as he does so, kind of following behind Dodie, hopefully so she doesn't see, and just kind of nods at him and keeps moving. You two make your way upstairs to the rooms. None of the doors on any of the rooms match. They all look to be cobbled together from other doors. And one of the door frames looks like it broke at a certain point, and they replaced the door but didn't replace the frame. Luckily, it's not any one of your rooms, but as you do pass by, you can see into that room through the broken piece of a frame where what looks to be a very, very, very drunk half-elf is sprawled across the floor with a bottle in their hand, passed out. You make your way up towards your room, though. Before I jump to either Gore or Dodie, Erithar, are you doing anything while you're downstairs in the tavern?
I think he's gonna wait where he is to see when Oldet walks in, so they can go up together. Until then, he's not doing much of anything. He's probably, if anything, just opening his journal and kind of getting ready for the notes he's about to take.
All right. So I think we're going to hop back outside then to Gore, who has just spilled all of the beans, and then walked outside. Sorry. As you walk outside, you can see it is pretty dark underneath the pier, but you can still hear the waves and see the light reflecting on the waves and the shore, as behind you all of the lampposts have been lit and the moonlight still kind of reflects in little places. As well behind you, you can hear an absolute fucking party fest going up on the docks and everything. At a certain point, you do hear what sounds to be like a window shattering, but the partying does not stop for a second. Instead, you kind of walk out further and can see where Oldet is not in the water, but is sitting on the sand near the water, so that kind of like when the wave comes in, it's about a foot away from them, and continues back out. They're not sat kind of crisscross applesauce like they normally do, since leg, but they are sitting and they've got their bag with them, and it seems like they've got a couple different things in their hand, and they're just kind of sitting there meditating with their eyes closed. Make a insight check for me as well.
Uh, 14.
14. Could I also get you to just make one of the, wisdom checks that you normally do?
I think that one's also insight.
Yeah. Do one of those for me, too.
Oh, that was an 18.
You have a sense that kind of washes over you. Almost like... It's a weird one. It's kind of conflicting. There's a sense of, like, almost like feeling justified. And feeling, like, a little bit confident in that. As well as a sense of, like... I don't want to say anxiety, but, like, you know when you're, like...
you know that you're about to find out something soon, and you're waiting for that piece of knowledge, and you're not anxious about it, but like you want to hurry up and hear it.
Hmm.
I don't remember what the word for that is, but that. It's kind of this sense of like feeling,
Anticipation.
yeah, like a sense of anticipation, but also feeling justified at the same time. As well for the insight check you did when you saw Oldat, they seem to be focusing a lot harder on their breathing. Like they're really like, you know when you see somebody who's just like breathe in, breathe out sort of thing, they're kind of doing that right now.
I think Or will probably walk up, not like next to them,
Mm-hmm.
but next to them, and could he try to meditate?
If you would like to attempt.
Sure.
So what kind of check do I want?
He feels good right now.
I'd say either make a religion check or a what do I want this to be?
Hopefully something other than religion.
Anything you can convince me of that you want it to be? Because religion makes the most sense to me in this form, but if you can convince me of something else, I'll let it be something else.
Dang. That is the only one I can think of when I'm looking at the list.
Yeah.
Dang. Man. Oh, not bad. That's a 17.
17.
That was a -2.
Alright. You sit down relatively near Oldet, kind of like looking over kind of like their posture. You remember a bit of it. You never really liked meditating when you were younger. It just wasn't really your thing. There's a lot of sitting and a lot of not thinking, and it's boring. But you kind of fall back into that posture that you're supposed to have. You kind of look over and see that they're holding stuff, but you also know that like a lot of times when you meditate, you don't hold anything, so you just kind of set your stuff down and kind of look back out towards the waves and close your eyes and try to also steady your breathing. It takes you a little bit to fall into it. Kind of trying to remember how. And then you remember like the like steps that different people said before. And after a little bit, you kind of do get your breathing to relax, and your eyes are closed, and you're just kind of listening. It's the only sense that really continues in this moment. And you hear the waves washing in and out, and in and out. And you hear the partying behind you, but it kind of seems to fall away a little bit. And for a little bit, you manage to catch it, just for a moment, of that fully just calm, open state. Are you thinking about anything in particular, or are you just trying to calm the body?
Probably just trying to calm the body.
You manage to kind of shift your weight in the sand and find a position that's comfortable enough. And when this kind of
calm finally does wash over you, you forgot how open meditation feels. Like you kind of disengage yourself from the feeling of your body and where your shoulders sore from carrying Oldet. And you're just kind of listening to the sounds, but you aren't really listening. And it's this moment of pure stillness that you haven't had in quite a while. It's weird. Very weird. But it's not bad either. It's relaxing. After a little bit, you do hear something kind of shift behind you, and then the sound of what sounds like somebody maybe falling down a set of stairs, and it breaks you out of it. And when you kind of look back to see if somebody fell down the stairs, they did. Some random guy just fell down a set of stairs. But he stood back up, he seems fine. And you turn back and you see Oldet has also stopped meditating by this point and is putting things back away in their bag.
I think he kind of glances over. I told them everything, Oldet. No more secrets.
That's probably good. It's hard to travel with people when you don't know their intentions.
Yeah, that's fair.
And we're gonna be stuck on a boat in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, I'm gonna be having a blast.
Something tells me that the two quiet ones probably not gonna be having a blast.
Yeah, Aerothar's gonna get seasick, 100%. Probably also Sapphire. Maybe. Aerothar definitely, though.
Yeah.
I feel better now. It's like I have a weight lifted off my shoulders.
Makes sense.
Doing all right, Oldet? Considering the, giant rock and everything.
Just a lot to do. A lot on my mind.
Yeah. After we get done with this island stuff, what are you gonna do then? What's next?
Well, if Aerithar needs to go someplace else for that rock, probably there. If not, there's a couple other places that I probably need to check on.
Yeah, I'll be there for the Aerithar Rock 2 reg. Yeah, we came up with code names for the Cabochons. Yours name is Paul, and Aerithar's is Greg. Just in case we're out in the open and nobody needs to know about it. Code words. They think we're talking about our friend Greg.
And all the possibilities that Greg has.
Exactly. Our friend Greg. Also been thinking about a name for the ship. I think I could name it after my book. It could be the same as the title that I had, right? Blood and gore. Because I'm gonna be the captain, obviously.
Yeah. Do boats not come with names?
Yeah, well, I don't care.
Ah.
I'm gonna rename. I'm not gonna let it some guy just name my boat. That. Unless it's a cool name. But I doubt it.
Like the Rage boat. I don't know. Rage Machine. I feel like that's in
That
the
one's not terrible.
I feel like that's kind of in the same vein as Blood and Gore.
Yeah. Yeah. That. Yeah. I think after all this wraps up, I'm gonna go give the old man a visit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he can. I don't know. Can't use that word. I was gonna say so he could grill me, but you know what? That is something Gore would say. You know, so he can like grill me or whatever.
Yeah, he's probably gonna whack the shit out of you with that cane.
Yeah, probably. And then there's the other thing, but I don't want to think about that. Yeah.
Is that what you're doing directly after?
Well, after the, if Arethar's got an island he needs to go to, then I feel like I'll have accomplished enough where if I go back and then, you know, I actually get killed this time, then I'll have done what I need to do, you know? That ain't gonna happen. I'm a big strong man now.
Yeah, you are pretty different. Not like really different, but like kinda different. But I mean, so is home. Shit changed after you left, I mean, as all things do.
Like what's all changed? Like,
Well, I mean, there was that storm. And I mean, some people graduated, some people quit, some people died. I think Ihalal's temple got like a new abbot. I think the abbot changed at the Ihalal temple. But they haven't really been super present given everything. So I mean, shit
yeah, that
changed.
kind of makes sense.
Yeah, shit changed with the Periorc temple after the storm and everything. I mean, I don't know where you were when the storm was.
Do not remember. It was a little bit ago. Has anything changed with the Marntel Temple?
Not as much as the other temples.
I guess that kind of makes sense.
They're pretty set in their ways.
Yeah. They got any new like champions or
New as in newly appointed, or new as in like completely new person?
newly appointed?
I mean, shit just kept going. Life continued on after you left.
Yeah.
There were some bumps in the road. Like I said, a lot happened. It's been several years. And I kept a handle on what I could. I don't know, there's not many people at our temple.
Yeah.
But I'm a keeper.
Proud of you, old that. I knew you wouldn't give up.
I don't. I can't.
But you're a lot stronger than I am. He's gonna bring them in for a hug.
They don't really move. They just kind of lean into you, but they don't really like. After you pull back, she's got a lot to do. I should probably go see whatever he's got in his bag. I mean, that could be anything.
Yeah. Could be a bomb. Because it is a bomb. He starts walking back with them.
Many things are.
You guys walk inside. At this point, Erithar, you see them walk back in. Oldet kind of stalls a little bit and looks over to where you are.
I'm heading up.
I thought a room. Yes, a room. Yes. And he turns to go upstairs.
Oldet very slowly makes their way up the stairs.
And unlocks one of the free rooms and holds it open.
Oldet kind of turns back towards Gore.
I'm assuming that you've got that one, so I'll just like leave the door open or something, or unlocked, because I'm probably gonna go to bed after this.
Alright.
And Oldet turns and walks into your room, Erithar.
Good night, Gore.
Good night, Erithar.
Closes the door behind him. Kind of sits down. I assume, are we gonna have this and then the long rest and we'll stop?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Never mind. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah. This, and then I'll take you guys into the long rest, and then we'll pick up with you guys waking up next time. So, Oldet walks in. It's a very simple room. We'll probably... Oh, actually, let me amend that. We'll pick up with Dodi and Saphael in... Do we want to do that this time, or do we want to do that like midnight next time?
It's up to you.
Let's see
Whatever
how long.
makes more
Let's see
sense.
how long this conversation lasts, because it might go long. It might be just real short. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm okay with doing that if it works. I forgot about that. Sorry.
Yeah, I forgot they were going to do that at night, not in the morning. Yes. So, but Oldet walks in. It's a pretty simple room. There is kind of like a bench made into the window, and then the bed. And Oldet goes and takes a seat at the seat underneath the window, kind of facing towards the bed. And just kind of sits down and waits for you to sit.
Sits down, reaches into his bag. I would prefer that this be open for only a short period of time. Its signature is possible. It is traceable. Not really in the box that it's in, but when it's open, it is. So,
Okay.
you know. He takes the box out and lays it, like, sits it in between them, and opens it.
You open this metal box and show it to them, and they lean over and kind of turn the box a little bit, kind of the way that you opened it and set it out, kind of looking like you weren't trying to touch it. And so they don't reach in for it, they just kind of turn the box to look at it. That's the wrong one. This one.
I am pulling out the...
They kind of stop for a moment and they close the box and then look back up at you.
Has it ever changed?
What do you mean?
Like, have any, like, properties or, like, characteristics of it ever changed?
No, right? Yeah. No. It, to give you some context, it was a wild magic surge, right? Sorry, I've got the doc pulled up, yeah. It was found after a wild magic surge. There was a tornado and there was a big crater left in it, and there was it a bigger rock, and then there were like some crystals, and then there was that, right?
Yeah, it was like a boulder broke apart, and on the inside there were two pieces of like glass like crystal holding this thing in between it.
It essentially, a boulder broke open, and the crystals inside of it were essentially holding this item. It's never physically changed in any matter.
And so, I mean, I'm guessing, like, with the same sort of thing, it's never, like, on its own, just, like, sitting where it sits, done something.
No. It essentially was poked and prodded until it was learned that it had explosive capabilities, essentially.
Explosive being a loose term, I'm guessing.
I'm really sorry, I don't have a lot of specifics for you, unless you want me to get extremely scientific, which is... Am I missing anything, Blue? Sorry.
I think the only other thing about it is that I think it was when you hold it up to the light, there are certain sections of it that like look different.
Yeah, I don't know if that's in the doc. So yeah, okay. Yeah, I forgot.
I don't remember if I wrote that down.
When you hold it up to the light, it looks a little different, but that still doesn't really qualify as it changing.
The wild magic, it wasn't in the north, was it?
No. No.
I'm gonna have to look back through my notes, probably to get more specifics. If it's not from the far north, it's probably not something that's been documented before.
That was a very big thing about it, is that we haven't really found anything like it before.
The fact that it's reactive to wild magic and not, absorbing it makes it a little tricky. Like this one
Motions to their bag.
it has properties, but when you do magic around it, it just kind of keeps doing what it's doing. That one,
Points to the box.
that one kind of sounds like the more you do around it, the more it reacts. Obviously, from just like looking at it right now, I can't really tell, other than the fact that it's got a lot of something on it. I can't really tell what type of magic it is. But I know places we definitely shouldn't take it.
And is that information that you would be willing to share with me as of right now, or is that something that's down the line?
Let me...
Or is it, do you need to compile?
Yeah, probably a bit of compiling. I know a place on Dire Mount. It probably definitely should not ever, probably ever go. And I know a place in Pyrsana that it probably wouldn't be the best to go to. And obviously we don't want other people getting it.
Or getting it to sell it to someone more powerful, which is my concern with the pirates, but, you know.
Yeah.
They kind of shake their head a little bit.
I don't know a lot of the technical things for a lot of things. I know more like folk-based knowledge. I'm assuming it's done something.
Yes.
Were you or any of the people fucking with it near that?
Does he know that, or can I make it an insight check? Because was he far away?
Make an insight check on yourself.
22.
You were near enough to see it and to feel the air from it, but not close enough to be next to it, if that helps.
I was far enough to know what it had done. But I wasn't none of the impact had any physical effect on me.
Okay. I would know more, as sad as it is to say, if it had.
I would offer you additional information, but I unfortunately don't remember most of it. So, if things come back to me, I'll fill you in if it's helpful.
Okay. I'll look through my notes, and after we do this one, we can maybe go where I have more resources, and I'll have more information. But right now, I know the places that it shouldn't be, and the fact that you have a very capable stance on the fact that it shouldn't do things. By the way, if you, like, just in general, from what I understand, like, holding it is fine. But that's, of course, if I'm thinking about this in the correct way. Like I said, I've never seen that.
As you've said, it's reactant, so that's probably wise that you not do anything to it, but holding it is... I just wear these just because, in case, where we are maybe changes anything, because, like I've said, it just hasn't physically changed, but also I haven't been everywhere in the world with it geographically, whatever. Your knowledge is immensely appreciated, though, and your guidance. I spent the better part of a month, 2 months in, fucking, what is the capital kingdom called? Why is it gone?
Zurham.
The capital. What the hell?
Zurham.
What is the name of it?
Zurham.
Zurham, Jesus Christ. In Zurham, trying to find anyone that could tell me anything, which is how I came across the two of them. And now you. So it's appreciated.
Yeah, there's not a lot of talk about these sort of things.
Understandably.
I should probably get some rest, though. I'll try to see if I have anything in my notes that I'm just forgetting about. But
I'm sorry about your leg.
I don't mean it to sound as morbid as it does, but it happens. I've seen a lot of things, so...
They get up
I'm just...
and have started to walk to the door by this point, but are still kind of talking.
We're just glad that you're alright. I speak for myself and I guess presumably also Mr. Gore and, Dodie. So...
I appreciated the, help. Definitely an interesting situation to suddenly happen, but it all worked out.
They have reached the door by this point and start to turn the handle and stop.
How you feeling, by the way?
What do you mean?
Just in general. You feeling like shit? You feeling okay?
The former is nearly always applicable. I'm very anxious to get this done. I am not a healer. I am not a fighter. So, anxious to be out of the way of these sorts of situations.
Understandable.
They open the door and start to walk out.
If the feeling like shit changes to a different type of shit, I'd probably like to know. But I think we all kind of feel like shit right now.
And they nod at you goodnight and close the door.
He gets his stuff and just goes to bed.
Do we want to have Dodie and Sapphire time? I don't know if anybody works in the morning, which is why I'm asking.
I can go for like 20 more minutes.
Alright. So, I'm assuming since Dodie and Sapphire left first that this happened earlier in the evening. But you guys got into the room, settled in. It's a relatively simple room, like the others. Yours seems to have more of like a skylight than like a window. But there is a strangely large closet with no doors. And no like bar to like hang things on. It's just like an empty closet. I don't know. It's none of the rooms really make sense, and everything in this place is just a little bit off, but it's not completely a shithole, so there's at least that. But you get into the room, and Sapphire immediately like sits down, slumps on the bed, bounces a little.
She sits down next to him, grabs a pillow, and screams into it for a solid 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Because she can't go and whack things with her axe right now. So she just screams for a good half a minute, then sits up, sets it down. Okay,
Yep.
I really want to know what's going on with your memory. I really hope that you've found some good answers. I need you to know before we get on a boat tomorrow that there's a chance that we're going to be chased by pirates.
Very sudden and interesting development.
Apparently, before Old Debt showed up, Gore was going to take Greg to the pirates because he was working for them, but he has since had a change of heart. So we're just
Gore
gonna
or
run.
Greg? Who's working for the pirates?
sorry. Greg is the new code name for the Rock.
Oh. Got it.
Sorry, I couldn't clarify that sooner. I think that we also came up with one for the one that Erithar apparently has, but I think if we use it in front of him, he'll smother me in my sleep. So
there's another one.
So there's another one. It's been here the whole time. He took it into the Shadowfell. It's fine. We're gonna keep moving
I
because
didn't see
otherwise,
that one.
I'm gonna walk down the hall and slit his throat. Anyway, so now he's not working for pirates. They might try to seek revenge. So if anything happens, now you know.
Good to know.
Okay. I'm gonna be so normal now. What's going on with you, bud?
Well, memories are a funny thing. And obviously, like, you know, I was there for a while.
Sure.
And so, like, you don't really remember the day-to-day, like, every single thing that's ever happened ever.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of bullshit that's happening in the castle constantly, and you just kind of get used to it. However, when I was inches away from being crushed by a giant rock, and looked up and saw Oldet, who is a gnoll, which is relevant, I promise, almost also being crushed to death, kind of reminded me
Sure.
of a couple things. But my brain is not my friend, and has a hard time putting things in order in a way that I can say that makes sense. And also, you know how sometimes you can remember a string of words, but then the second you go to say the string of words, the words get all mixed up? So I perhaps have an idea, and if it doesn't work, then I'll just try to just bumble around until I explain the parts of it that I can.
Let's go with the first idea first.
Cool. Can we try to do the thing where we go invisible?
Yeah, sure. Let's try to do the thing where we go invisible.
I know we're not really invisible, but it's freaky. You kind of cross hands and grab each other's hands and sit there for a moment and start to focus. And now that you've done this accidentally once and on purpose once, you're kind of getting a sense to the body feel of what's supposed to happen. And he grabs your hand, and for a second there you watch as if crawling up from your hands up your arms. For a second there you start to go into that crystalline, transparent thing, and you both kind of flinch and lose it for a second, and look up and are okay, one more time. We're gonna try it again. And you grab hands again. It happens again, but instead there's a moment where you both kind of subconsciously close your eyes, gritting to try to keep hold of that feeling. And when you open your eyes, you see from your eyes, and then glitch and see the opposite perspective, and then back to your eyes, and then glitch one more time. And for a moment you see your face sitting in front of you, and each time you see your face you kind of have forgotten that you changed your hair color and are oh yeah, that's what I look like. And then in a split second all of that is gone. Instead, in front of you, as if you've suddenly are looking through Saphael's eyes at a completely different scene, you see a large parchment map sprawled across an antique wooden table. Torn and stained along the edges, and a parchment scroll lying off to the side. The view on the map, the topography of it, looks familiar from this split second of information. But your eyes are immediately drawn away as a hand sets a mug down next to and on top of this old map. For a second there, the ring looks familiar. Your eyes catch a symbol on the map as the hand pulls back, circled furiously over and over and over again in ink, an outpost, before talking again starts. Some paltry gnoll shouldn't be a problem for you, Commander. Clear the vermin out if you must, and I will not have a repeat of this. He picks the mug up and throws it against the table. It cracks and shatters, spreading what looks like perhaps tea across the surface and staining into the withered parchment. We will not fail this again. Get them out if you have to. Your vision starts to pull back, again focused on the map in front of you as your own body flinches at the sound of the mug cracking. Can I get you to make either a perception check or an investigation check real quick?
Let's go with investigation. It's a little harder. 22.
22. You see the outpost circled time and time and time again.
And on the edge of the map, kind of off to the side where your vision starts to fuzz out into nothingness, you see a town marked Binwood. It's off to the left, as if it's in the bottom corner of the map. Whatever this outpost is up further, past one of the lakes and a kind of up off to the side, but you can't entirely get the entire picture before your vision pulls back. You again see your own face, eyes closed, serene, before eventually you feel yourself open a different set of eyes and you look back at Saphael. I don't remember the context, but I remember that was very recent.
Like within the last year?
Like within the past couple of months.
Okay.
I don't know where Oldet is from, and I won't claim to know anything about the politics between the Crown and some of the more northern peoples.
I don't really know it's bad.
All I know is that my father did not see gnolls as anything more than animals. And very recently, at least, the Crown was up dealing with some. Like I said, no idea what that means. But I just thought it might be important.
It's good to keep in mind.
I didn't want to just be like, hey yo, did your home get destroyed recently? Sorry you just got your leg crushed.
It's not the most tactful, no.
So I thought I'd bring it. I also really couldn't put it together. That was the most consistent it's been all day.
Yeah.
That felt like a, like from beginning to end. Before it was just like, oh, there's a map, oh, there's a symbol, oh, my dad threw a mug at a table. It's, yeah.
We'll keep an eye on it, and if it comes up, then we'll know. Yeah, I really don't know the best way to approach bringing it up.
Yeah.
It seems delicate.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay. Okay. I knew that you had a memory. I really wasn't expecting to hear him.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
jarring,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Very. Very. But. Okay.
Yep.
Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot of putting pieces together. There's a lot of, there was a lot of threat of death in the Shadowfell. But I kind of learned where the death was. So I'm still trying to figure out where death lies in wait here. But I'm figuring things out.
Good. This might sound really dumb, but your brain's not your friend. And speaking as a companion in that, don't be afraid to write things down because it makes it all way less scary.
Yeah. I find
writing to be anxiety-inducing.
Okay, well, maybe never mind then.
But I have been, summons violin.
There you go. It's fine.
Puts violin back.
This feels very apt.
Yeah.
We should go to bed. You've got to be on a boat tomorrow.
I feel like that's going to be an experience.
If you're gonna throw up, don't do it on me. We're just gonna get ready for bed.
He walks over to, like, the one nightstand that is completely across the room from the beds for some reason, and takes Steve the potion grub and just sticks him to the side of the nightstand and sets his stuff down, and then flops into bed. So I think everybody has skittered off to their rooms. If there's anything else to do last minute before we take ourselves into a long rest. Alright. Then all of you fall asleep and can mark a long rest on your character sheets and get those spell slots back. And we will pick up with this and buying a boat and naming a boat next time. Alright.
Yes.
I am going to take us off stream. Oh, this party, I love them so much. Okay. Well, oh, my legs. Okay. Goodbye, stream.
Therapy.
Bye.